So another day where the geopolitical tensions get seemingly significantly worse, but Bitcoin's price actually goes up because we just hit $73,000. We can see right now $72,700 for Bitcoin. The trade I've been sharing with you guys live, $27,800 of profit. I'm going to do exactly what I've done for the last 3 days in a row and take out just shy of $1,000. Each day making $1,000 profit while everything seems to be screaming that Bitcoin's price is going to go down. Now, that's the base case, as you know, for me, that the bear market will continue. But right now we are in the bounce. Now, this is most likely, not guaranteed, but most likely a dead cat bounce from about the $60,000 region, very similar to what we had over here at 79,000 all the way up to the highs of 97,000 in the bear flag that we were watching, which seems to be a repeat of exactly what we have right here. We came down, we went to 60,000 at the bottom of the bear flag, and then we started to form this pattern. Another way to look at this would be asymmetrical pennant here, where we do have a breakout, a retest, and now we found very strong resistance at about the $74,000 to $73,000 region, which we seem to be trying to figure out right now. So if we look at this purple box here, we can see 74,000 to 77,000. I think is going to be very, very strong resistance. Why is this? Well, it was support back here on the way down early Feb, and it was very strong support before we made our all-time highs back in April 25. You can see the lower region, 74,000, and the first bounce was about 77,000. If we go even further back in time, you can see it played as resistance in November 24 before running into our alt season, which a lot of people would contest, but it was resistance here. We had a little time here where we played around, and then we go back here, it was actually resistance, one of our first resistance after the old ETF breakout in 24. So a very, very strong region. Now, why would this be a strong region? Well, it's interesting because this is where people's emotional capitulations or emotional buying zones, supports, resistance coincide with take profits. They coincide with regions that people are specifically looking at because of previous data. So this is why it plays in very importantly. Now, if we couple this information with what's going on with the leverage, with the manipulation in the market, I would say that most likely we are seeing or going to see another pullback. We are going to see eventually another repeat of exactly what we saw before. Now, if we do take a look at the 200-day MA, it today sits at about 93,600. So that is the bounce zone that a lot of people will be watching, because back in 2022, that was the rejection that we then headed into the bear market. So it'd be my idea that we won't get an exact replication of that, but in hindsight, it's going to look very, very similar to that. So I'd be watching really anywhere between where we are now and that 200-day MA for a rejection going into the later half of the bear market, which we're getting very close to being in. You can see from the high to where we are right now, it's already been 160 days. So we're very close to halfway through this bear market, which I know sounds ridiculous. Surely not. We can't already be halfway through the bear market. But it depends on how you classify a bear market. For me, I'm looking at the high to the actual low, which in the past, in our previous bear market, high to the very low, 366 days. So getting close to that halfway point right now. But if you want to classify the bear market from the high to when we broke that high, we're looking more like 850 days. But the thing that people who do that forget is you have all of this time for accumulation. So by the time you get back to this region, previous high, you're actually in significant profits. And for some reason, a lot of people do not understand that concept. So let me know in the comment section if you don't understand it. So the more time we spend going down, the more time I have to make money, the more Bitcoin I can buy at a better price. This is, what I want to do. Plus, of course, playing these bounces, taking profits daily when we are in these moments, especially the moments where I think we're most likely in the short term going to have a pullback, because you can see there aren't many shorts piling in and the longs are absolutely piling in right now, showing me the majority of traders, at least in the short term, are predicting a price move to the upside. So what would normally happen in that sort of idea would be something along the lines of getting rejected, maybe a little bit higher here, coming down to retest this zone, then heading up to the 200-day MA. That means that almost no one will profit, right? Because the late longs get in, they get annihilated in this move, then they start to go short, they get annihilated in this move, then they go long, they get a little bit of profit, don't take any profits, and then get annihilated on me, eventually head lower. That tends to be what happens. With that said, guys, I'll see you in the next one.